Will Rodgers join forces with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers? Does he seriously want to stay in the Big Apple for the New York Giants rebuilding project? Would A-Rod return to the NFC North, delaying J.J. McCarthy's ascent with the Minnesota Vikings? NFL Stats Central. The latest NFL scores, schedules, odds, stats and more. I'm advising that Rodgers will make his way to the Burra, where so many pieces are in place to make a legitimate playoff run. Reportedly, the Steelers have made an offer, layered onto the huge acquisition of big play receiver DK Metcalf, but it's unclear where that stands in the mix with other options. After all, the notion that the four-time NFL MVP is bullish on the Vikings is gaining steam. Minnesota needs a veteran presence after the free agent move of single-season sensation Sam Darnold, and now apparently mulls whether to seek a vet backup bridge type or a swing for the fence's choice embodied in Rodgers. So, with Rodgers again commanding the NFL's center stage for attention, we wait. And so does Russell Wilson, who might wind up back with the Steelers if Rodgers doesn't claim the seat in what feels like an NFL version of musical chairs. Hey, if Rodgers wants to take his time and carefully contemplate his next move, so be it. That's his business, his life. He'll have to live with it. This is the first time in Rodgers' 20-year NFL career that he's been a free agent. And if the contract terms weigh on this, 1 or 2 years, $1 or $2 gazillion, that's NFL business. With that, the Aaron Rodgers experience moves on. Is he that cooked? Next question. Is Rodgers a good fit for Pitt? On one hand, it's not a stretch to think that Rodgers, 41, could duplicate Tom Brady's championship feat with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2021. Brady was the aging quarterback who found the ideal landing spot, which included a great balance of his leadership and skill, the team adding a few complementary pieces and a stable front office coaching dynamic. Pittsburgh offers similar potential, including an established culture and well-respected coach who, let the chorus sing, has never had a losing season. Rodgers is talented enough, still, and given the inability of Tomlin and Rodgers to win a second Super Bowl, Pittsburgh capped the 2008 season with a crown. 2 years later Rodgers led the Green Bay Packers to the title. You'd think they'd connect on the mission of proving they can do it again. A major question, though, looms about fit. And maybe the fit begins from within. What does it say about Rodgers that the first thing that comes up has nothing to do with his physical skills? His arm still has zip. And he demonstrated last season that, even though he's not as nimble as he used to be, he has seemingly fully recovered from the torn Achilles that wiped out his 2023 campaign. He started all 17 games in 2024, passing for 3,897 yards and 28 TDs, with 11 interceptions. His mind, undoubtedly, is a major asset, too. Rodgers has seen every scheme, coverage or blitz that you can imagine, and over again. No, the questions have more to do with his vibe and chemistry. Is Rodgers the one to energize a team like Brady, or is he a smug, bad actor? Surely, Tomlin has a strong enough presence to deal with Rodgers' eccentricities. In public, that might include whatever the quarterback says during his weekly hits on the Pat McAfee show, or whenever, well, somebody asks his thoughts on vaccinations or what happened on the disconnect that resulted in the interception. Behind the scenes, I'd suspect the coach has an even stronger presence, and Tomlin has had no shortage of experience in dealing with strong-willed players. See Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown or James Harrison. Check out the creative spin, though, that Ryan Clark used on an episode of ESPN's Get Up this week, weighing the prospect of Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin can work with anybody, said Clark, a former Steelers safety. But let's say you put Scar on the team. You know, Scar from the Mufasa movie and The Lion King. Do you know what Scar's name was before Scar? It was Taka. Do you know what Taka meant? Garbage. Wasted. That's exactly what could happen if you bring Aaron Rodgers in there. You could have a wasted season. A garbage season. Clark scores only so many points with his metaphor. He compared A-Rod to a Disney villain. But in dropping the corporate cousin reference, his conclusion brings to mind some back and forth banter with Rodgers last season. Even if Clark swears by his analysis, it might also come off as a free shot amid a long-running beef. Now, he can try again. And even for an old head, there must be lessons from that last chapter that can be beneficial on the next stop. In other words, perhaps the stage is set for Rodgers to come out of the darkness and see the light.